What's up, everyone? This is Spooky, and I'm finally here with part 2 of my Victor Guide for you. This is going to have lots of addendum and things that I missed in the first beginner's guide. It's also going to have some new and advanced info for you, as well as updated information that we've all learned over time. So if you're looking for even more Victor info, if you're hungry to keep on moving to the next level, then let's get started and jump into it. Just like the last video, this one's going to be done in a freestyle. So keep that in mind as we go and enjoy it. Alright guys, so I want to start things off with some corrections compared to the first video. The first thing I want to correct is the back one, which is that in the first part of the video I mentioned this was a 13 frame move. I'm sorry, that's wrong. This is a 14 frame move. So it's not guaranteed after normal hit back four. It's only guaranteed after counter hit back four. But when the back four counter hits, you can still do this tactic. It's still a very good move. Obviously, I use it all the time, but keep in mind this will not punish minus 13. It's a 14 frame move. So sorry about that, and there you go. Just wanted to correct that one. The next one that I want to correct, this is the big one, is that I said up 1-1 is not cancelable, but I was wrong. You can cancel this move. For some reason, I thought you could only do this cancel while you're in the stance, but in fact, you can do this in the neutral. You just have to press the up 1-1 and then hold down early on the animation to get that nice little animation cancel. Now, I want to go over a few things that I missed talking about the stances last time. First off, in Perfumer, which is the forward 3 you can activate it from, you can get into Perfumer from back 1, you can get into it from down back 1-1, you can get into Perfumer from 2-1, hold forward on that one, and you can also get into it. So one thing that I didn't talk about is that if you press down forward during Perfumer, you get this cool little extra crouch dash sway. And it's pretty nice for a few things. One is that because it puts you in crouch state, you can instantly from this do crouching moves. You're crouching 1+2 if you want to do a low, or you can instantly do a while standing move, something like that. So you can legit full screen come at them and just do a launcher if you really want to, if you use this right. And you know it's a little risky, but it's a thing that you can do. Try to get your payoff, whatever your payoff might be. So it's a thing to check out. Perfumer down forward cancel, and you can even do it when you do stuff like this. So you can try to mess with them and go under their button, something like that. So yeah, make sure to check it out. Perfumer down forward. Alright, so we also talked about before the Perfumer 1 low. Of course, never forget this move. It's really good. You got your Perfumer 3 mid. Of course, which is really useful. It's a heat engager or a heat starter, and it's got a lot of stuff about it too that's good because it also gives heat combos. So when you're in heat and you hit this move, if you hit it again, heat dash, you convert whatever combo you want to do. It doesn't matter. That's just an example combo. So a thing to try out. You also have the Perfumer 1+2, which is a safe mid. And it's kind of good to have this wheel of options where sometimes you do the Perfumer 3, sometimes you do the Perfumer 1, and then sometimes, you do the Perfumer 1+2, which is a slower mid, so they sometimes interrupt that one. So good to have that wheel of options going. That way sometimes you're plus from this low, and you can mix them up afterwards, or that type of thing. Pretty good to get going. Alright, so you also have the Perfumer 4. We've talked about this before. It's the same as the back 4, so keep it in mind because this also can help keep the wheel of Perfumer going if you use it right. Especially when they're trying to step and get away from you. Okay, and lastly, I want to mention this because I didn't mention it before, but you can do throws from Perfumer stance, but only the up 1+2 throw for some reason. So if you do Perfumer and you do up 4 1+2, then you can actually get the command grab. You can't do, for some reason, the regular throws unless you wait a really long time, and then as you can see, they can press a jab there. But if you do it normally like this, even if they try to jab, you'll interrupt their jab and you'll grab them because you have enough plus frames. It doesn't matter what you started from. If I started from this down back 1-1, I have enough plus. I can still grab them. Pretty much any starter. This 2-1, if it hits, same deal. They can't jab. Okay, up next, let's talk about Iaido and some things that I missed, right? So, in the Iaido stance, first off, the basic moves, you've got the 1-1, which is exactly the same as up 1-1 or up forward 1-1 in neutral. Same move, you can even do the cancel, of course, and try to stay in stance. If this hits, you're supposed to have enough plus if this hits, I believe, that you can do something. But watch out because jabs, even though you're like plus in the stance, jabs are pretty good against you here. So that's one thing to really watch out. But when you have them scared enough, this gets pretty good. It's pretty nasty. So it's something that you can try out. One thing that I really didn't talk about though is there's a down 2 move that you can do in this stance, and the down 2 is pretty nice because the first hit's a true mid, so it doesn't matter, you know, how they block. I should say it doesn't matter if they block low, they're gonna get hit pretty much. It does have some special mid hits to it, so if you hit far in the animation like that, it won't be a true mid. But if you hit it up close like this will happen. This move also gets better in heat, so when you're in heat mode, you pull this bad boy out, and it does more hits, more damage, pretty nasty. It's plus frames, and one thing that's nice is not only is it plus frames, but it leaves you in the stance. So if they try to do something like what the opponent just did there and press that bad job, you can get them. So yeah, pretty nice. Yeah, make sure to try it out. Down 2 leaves you in stance, but there's still lots of tricks you can do with it just to keep the pressure going. Now, ironically, I also don't think I talked about this move very much, but it's the down forward 1+2 in stance. Part of the reason I didn't talk about this move a lot is this is kind of like the level 0 move. Everybody figures out this move is good kind of at first. It's the trickiest part about it is that often, because this move is so powerful, when you're in this stance, people will crouch. So you have to learn how to use your other options, like your 1-1, and try to get a wall splat and make that work, and all the other tricks. But when you do use this right, it's a very powerful low that knocks down. It tracks super well. It's just an overall annoying move. And even though it says that it's -3 for you because they're knocked down, pretty much the situation is in your favor. If they get up and they press the wrong thing, then they're in a lot of danger, especially because you got your other tools to keep them on, keep the pressure on. So yeah, I really like this move. Make sure to try it out, of course. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in this tech section coming up, and some of the new tech that I want you guys to try out, because I've been trying some of this and it's been great for me too. Okay, so for this tech section, we're going to kind of go back to the beginning, and I'm going to teach you the approach that I do against a player. Let's say I'm fighting the first game, we've never fought each other, or I haven't fought them a lot, we're just meeting up on ranked or something like that. The typical approach. So one thing that I like to start with, of course, is the running 2, the plus frames button. And I kind of test them, and I see how well they know how to deal with it. If I see them do that bad job after, then of course I go for the basic, the 1+2 afterwards. Same tech as in the first video, running 2, 1+2, bam. Get them, right? And then I also have the running 2, and when they're scared of that, down back 4. Of course, throw that out there. And then I take advantage of the plus frames from the down back 4 maybe, and I continue my pressure. Some things I like to do after this down back 4 when it hits, down back 1+2. Maybe I'll do the down back 4 and I'll do an up forward 1+2 throw. You know, maybe I'll do the down back 4 and I'll do a forward 4-1 or a while standing 4 afterwards, just to catch them, you know, for pressing a button, something like that, that type of thing. And so when I've established the running 2, then I put them in a situation where there's a few things they'll try to do to deal with it. They might try to sidestep, which is actually a pretty good idea. They might try to power crush, which is also not a bad idea. They might try a few different things. So when they try to do something about the running 2, that's when it's time for the fake outs. And some things that I like to fake out with are, instead of running 2, I kind of get in the range where I might do a running 2, and I do this up 2 move. Of course, you guys have seen it before. And one thing that's nice about the up 2 is that on normal hit, this move is also really good because it's +7. So you do up 2, and then guess what? The same frame traps work. If they try to job, combo time. Let's go. Whatever combo you want to do, basically, it doesn't matter. That's just an example. Now, there's a few other things that you can do here that are pretty nice. Once you've established all this stuff, you can start to establish like a stance mix-up game. And what I mean by that is you can start to mix them up with some of your other tools. So after you've established a running 2, maybe they block it, and instead of doing that bad job, they backdash after, or they block, and then they don't really, you know, they don't really fall for these counter hits anymore. They do something safe or defensive to make it annoying, right? Well, that's when it's time for a different layer mix-up. So I might go for the running 2, right? And after the running 2, I might do a back 1, and then bam, go into Perfumer stance. Or I might do, you know, down back 1-1, and then just go into Perfumer and try to mix them up, something like that. Or I might just do a back 1, nothing. See how they respond. You know, if they do that bad job, try to whip punish it. Something like that, right? You know, barrage them with these longer range moves. See how they respond. They respond bad. You know, maybe a little check duck there. Something like that. These are just all examples of strategy I like. Sometimes I like to harass also with this back 3 at range, right? And just try to pick at them. Maybe I'll delay cancel it so that if they press their jab like they're doing there, it'll hit them and interrupt what they're doing. Now, you got them not doing all this stuff anymore. That's when you're going to harass with the up forward 1 into the stance. Or up forward 1-1, let it hit and knock them down. Up forward 1, oh, it hit. mix them up, you know, down for a 1-2 afterwards, something like that. So this is the start of what I like to call the stance barrage sets, right? And here's some examples of how the stance barrages work. Some of these are Perfumer mix-ups and some of them are Iaido mix-ups. So of course you got the 2-1 into Perfumer, back 1 Perfumer, we talked about before, down back 1 Perfumer. And this is what the wheel of options looks like. So Perfumer 1, go for the low. Maybe I'll establish it from this, maybe I'll establish it, you know, from this, and then I'll fake them out, and then this time I will go for it. Now after I've established the lows enough times, of course, they're going to want to block low, because every time I'm in Perfumer, I'm going for their legs, right? And I'm being plus frames, and I'm harassing them afterwards. So why wouldn't they down back, right? So when they down back, the first mid I like to establish is the 3. And that's good because the 3 is kind of a fast mid. It's harder to check duck this than the 1+2. But then it's also good because once you're in heat, you can also get heat combos from it, which we talked about a bit before. So it's nice for having another option available that's not the same as just, you know, doing this slow over and over and then getting them real scared, having them confused about what's coming up. When they don't know what's going on, then you keep the pressure on. Now, once I've established those first 2 Perfumer options, then I like to go for the 1+2 more often. And the reasoning behind that is, okay, well, they're going to step up their defense more and they're going to jab less often. So when that happens, of course, the 1+2 is +4, like we've established before. And you can do some similar types of interrupts. You can't do the exact same stuff because if they try to punish this with a jab, it will actually work. So instead, you can do other things to interrupt or to mess with them. So you do this and then do like a down back 4. And if they try to jab, their jab's not going to work, or their jab even might get interrupted. I meant to put this on punish. Hold on. So let's say they try to jab after this. You down back 4, see it's going to go into their jab and it's going to stop them. You can also down 4-1-1, interrupt them. You could do this and then you can do your back 1 and you'll trade, which is kind of weird, but you'll be +5 after the trade. It's kind of a strange trade thing that you can do. And there's a few other things that you can do to mess with them here. I mostly like to just do the down 4-1-1. It's pretty good situationally. And not a lot of people like duck here or anything like that, so it's pretty nice. But you can establish other things. You can sidestep and go for like a sidestep 1+2 or something like that if you want to. That one's not bad. So you try to get a wall splat. You're fast enough. I'm sure you can splat this. Get a wall combo. Something like that. So yeah, all ideas that you can utilize while you're in the Perfumer stance during this Perfumer barrage concept of attacking the opponent. Now, while you're doing this Perfumer barrage and you got them a little bit shook, when it does actually hit and you have the plus frames, again, you can go back to what we talked about of you can also mix in that up for 1+2 throw, and that goes right back to establishing everything else. So you got your 1 that defeats their job when you're even when you're not plus, it kind of defeats their job, but especially when you're plus, you got this that defeats their job when you're plus. You know, and you got your 3, I think, also defeats the jobs when you're +2. So yeah, and trust me, they don't want to take that trade. That trade's nasty. You don't want to be taking those. Anyway, all little ways that you can establish it. And again, don't forget that once you're in the heat, this also becomes even better. You can just get that heat dash and get in there. Alright, next up is the concept of Iaido barrage, and it's not that much different. The main thing that hurts this compared to the Perfumer is Perfumer has so many more good ways to get into Iaido. Iaido, the best ways to get into it usually involve combos. There's not a lot of great ways to get into it from neutral, but one good way is the L4-1. And you can see this move has a ton of range. You can tell, kind of look how far away I am. Boop, it's still hitting, right? So you do the L4-1-1 and then you press down. Now the big problem is that when you're in the Iaido stance, right? You're kind of like, right now, even though it looks like I'm crouching a little bit, I'm in a standing state unless I crouch down, right? So you got to get creative to deal with their jobs in this type of situation. But let's just assume that you kind of trade them and you got them kind of scared to jab. They're not going to jab as often as they normally do, right? So some examples of some mix that's pretty good here is once you're in the stance and you establish it, down 2, which you talked about before. And what's cool about the down 2 is not only is it safe and a little bit of plus, but it pushes them back, especially when they block. It pushes them back kind of to the perfect range to establish the rest of your mix. You can 1+2 from here if you want, or you could do this and you can go for your down for 1+2 and you can try to mix them up that way, you know, or you could do this and then 1+2. Oh, look, I got a combo, you know, time to heat. Something like that, right? So there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize this and really, you know, harass them. Alright guys, so continuing on with this whole stance barrage concept, there's one little thing that I want to throw in there, which is that there's this move that you get only in heat, which is the down back 1+2. And I think I talked about it a little bit in the first video, but I didn't really elaborate very much. Anyway, this down back 1+2 is really nice because at range, it's kind of a good way to get into the Iaido stance, and also it's not a bad way to establish the down 2 immediately afterwards, because you're putting yourself in a situation where from the down back 1+2 you're +6, and the down 2 itself is also plus. So you're putting them kind of in this little mini vortex. It's very powerful. In fact, I love the sequence a lot, which is a down back 1+2, down 2, and then depending on whether or not the down 2 hit or was blocked, you can establish some other pressure afterwards, or you could also do something similar and mix them up in so many different ways. One other little plus frame sequence that I like to establish with it is down back 1+2 straight into 1+2, or down back 1+2 into 1+2, something like that. So you've got kind of a little mini plus frames active sequence going, and they have to do something kind of active to stop this, whether it's blocking the first mid and then ducking underneath, or trying to power crush through you, or rage art, or something like that. They can't really just sit there against this type of mix-up when you're in heat, which is pretty nice. And then from the plus frames, maybe you can harass with your up 1+2 or some other tricks, whatever you feel like doing in that moment. Unfortunately, outside the down 2, there's not a lot of plus frame stuff that he can do in this stance, but there is also the 1+2, which we talked about before. This tactic I really like is the 1+2. They can duck this, so they can block the 1, and then when they block the 1, they can duck this part. But you could always establish the 1-1 instead, and try to get a combo, something like that. Or you could also go for the 1-1 cancel and then try to trip them out. Just keep the mix going, try to make it as confusing as possible. But yeah, make sure to utilize, of course, the big low, and especially check out the down 2. Now, last but not least, I've been talking about heat mode a little bit and some of the things that get better in heat, like, of course, the down 2 that gets better in heat. We talked about that a little bit, but I haven't talked too much about the up 1+2, which I talked a little bit about in the previous video. But actually, this heat up 1+2 is one of the best moves that you have in the Victor arsenal, because not only is it safe at -4, it does significant chip, and even though the frame data is a little bit on the slower side, it's actually not that fast. Even though it's a little bit on the slower side, it's pretty good for kind of the teleport. He's like teleporting out of the way of various moves and various things. And I'll show you some example of some tricks and some ways that you can utilize this that happen all the time in high level play. Okay, so this first one is an extremely common scenario. I like to call it the monkey see, monkey do, haha. But players do this all the time, which is they see you do a heat burst, and they immediately heat burst back, which is not a terrible strategy. It has armor. You can only beat it with certain things, even with only the +1 that you have. You can only really beat it with a really quick low, or a low that's combined with some type of evasion or grabbing or something like that, right? Well, guess what? This up 1+2 says, haha, no, get chopped. And this is almost universal. It works on almost every character, okay? It's super good. So if you absolutely know they're going to heat burst, all right? If you just know, you feel it in your heart, whether it's because you heat burst, and they always heat burst. When you heat burst, chop. Give them the chop, okay? Maybe you only small minus. They want to heat burst. They get out. Chop. Stop it. And you can do this with the regular one even, but it becomes so good with this version because even if you guess wrong, okay, you're safe. That's the best part about it. So even if you guess completely wrong, oh, haha, well, you just push them back, and then they don't even get to really do anything from it, which is really nice. But it's especially good when you know they're going to heat burst. So the anti-heat burst tech, of course, especially when you're in heat, is if you know they're going to heat burst, give them chop and just take a chunk of their life. Alright, so I just wanted to show you another example here, which is against King. King's got this really amazing heat smash that he likes to do, but as it turns out, the same up 1+2 tactic is actually quite powerful against it, as you can see, and it doesn't matter what's going on. Let's say they're in neutral and you just think it's coming. Up 1+2. It's really excellent against this. In fact, when I'm plus, I have to delay it even, because if I do it too fast, like this, if I do it too quick, it'll actually hit me, which gives you an idea of how good this is. I, in fact, have a little bit of time to react. So I kind of do it, I wait a bit, and then up 1+2. So really powerful. This does not work against every heat smash in the game, but there are a lot of heat smashes that this is very effective against, like this King one. Now, also talking about up 1+2 in heat, we're not done yet because this move is super good. It's one of the best moves in the whole toolkit and arsenal. Is when you're in heat All right, you know, there's two types of heat dashes. There's the type like this that gives you a combo. Turn off that standing block for a second. So there's the type like the forward 3 that will give you a combo, of course. This type. And then there's also the other type that won't give you a combo, it'll only give you an OTG after. And I'll show an example, which is like the back 1+2. So if I hit this out in the open, I can't get a combo from it. Show you that again. I can't get a true combo like I can with the other options that I was just talking about. So if I do the forward 3, right, and do this one, see if I can show you better. There we go. It's just an example combo, right? But if I do this option, the back 1+2, well, I can't do that combo. It won't work, right? No matter what I do, it won't come out, right? Well, guess what? You can do up 1+2 and look at the damage. Look how much damage this does. Hold on. Chop. This for real does the damage of a combo. It's so painful. And you can do it from all these, any of these heat enders that don't let you get a combo, they're all ripe for the up 1+2. So forward 4-1 is a perfect example. You hit this and you heat dash at the mid screen, chop. 68 damage. Okay, you just did the damage of a combo, and this is easy. And you can even do this. We'll show this in the combo section. You can even do this in your longer combos, and you can get chunks of damage for this. Is very powerful. So keep that in mind. Whenever you heat dash one of these moves, if you don't know what to do, up 1+2. That's the option. It's a guaranteed combo that does a grip of damage. It's extremely useful. Alright everyone, so this is going to be the combo section in this updated video, and this is just going to go over some of the same combos as well as some newer ones and some ones that I forgot to talk about. So first off, it's your basic combo that works from anything. This is for someone, if you're terrible at combos, trust me, you can do this combo. It's so easy. This is any launcher to down forward 3-4-2 into 4-3-2. Okay, anybody can do this. It's a decent combo. It works from every launcher. So while standing 1, down forward 3-4-2, 4-3-2. And the same thing from the down back 4 counter hit. You can do the same thing. Just wait a little bit, down forward 3-4-2, and then you do your 4-3-2 afterwards. So it works from pretty much all the basic launchers. It's a good little baby's first combo. Sometimes the first hit misses. It's not the most consistent, but you know, it gets the job done. It's a really easy combo. The next one is also in the previous video, and this is just the basic extender combo, and this is what it looks like. Sorry about that. One more time. Down forward 3-4. Down forward 4-2-2. Down forward 4-2-1-2-2. And this combo is pretty easy and very damaging. It's actually a very consistent combo. It works from almost anything. It also works from like your while standing 1. Down forward 3-4. Down forward 4-2-2. Down forward 4-2-1-2-2. 74 damage. Pretty good from a counter hit. It'll also work from the down back 4. You want to go this route. Down forward 3-4. Down forward 4-2-2. And then the same ender, down forward 4-2, 1-2-2, 74 damage. So consistent combo. Anybody can do this combo. I used this combo for tons of rank, okay, and it always got the job done for me. So try it out. All right. So next up, this one's a newer combo, and this combo is mostly meant for down forward 2, but you can do it from all the launchers. It doesn't matter. And this is what it looks like. One more time. Down forward 2, down forward 4-2-2, while standing 2, and then I extend this way. So this is kind of my down forward 2 combo that I've been using lately. It gets the job done for me. I think there are maybe some other ways to do a little more damage from this, but it also has lots of carry. One thing that's great about this combo is that when you're in heat mode as well, one thing that's nice about it is you get tons of heat meter back. Watch. Try that again. Let me try to show you one more time. So that's one thing that's nice. It's a great way to really extend your heat and stay in heat for an extremely long amount of time utilizing this down forward 2 combo. Okay, so next up we have a higher tier of combo, and this is one that I meant to show in the previous video. You can do this from both down back 4 counter hit and while standing 1, but I'll show you a while standing 1 example first. Now you can also do it from down back 4. Let's give that a try. Yeah, so both these routes are very good for carry. You can also use them as heat burst and heat cash out routes, and I'll try to show you an example of that really quick. Anyway, the idea behind these routes, of course, is to get as much carry as possible, right? So you're trying to really carry them as far as you can. And then you're trying to get that tornado in there. Get that juicy damage. That's the idea behind it. So this is one of the most optimal. A lot of the better Victor players are using this style of combo. Make sure to try it out. Now, last time I forgot to show a combo that's useful for low parries and tornadoes. Alright, so the next one is a good example combo for what to do during tornado. This is a more advanced route, but it's similar to some of the ones you've seen already. Now for low parries, they scale pretty heavily, so doing pretty much any combo is okay, but this is a good example combo and something that has a pretty good carry too. Okay, so at the wall, in the previous video, I've already talked about some easier wall combos. So this time I want to talk about a move at the wall that I didn't really talk about, which is the forward 2, and give some ideas of good example forward 2 combos. So here's an example one, which is a wall splat with a back 3-1. And this is a really good, like a bread and butter-ish kind of wall combo that you can just do really easily. Anybody can do this. You see it does tons of damage, especially when it counter hits. There's also another route that does almost as much damage and is one less hit, which is more or less the same thing. You do 1, down 4, 1, down 4, 3 plus 4, which is your shoulder move. I've talked about this move a little bit before and some of the things that you can do, but really good as a wall ender, especially when you don't have time to land your full 2-2-1-1. Alright guys, so this last one's going to be an example of a heat cash out combo, and I've talked to you a bit before about how the up 1 plus 2 becomes very powerful in heat dash. This is an example of how to tack that at the end of a wall combo and get the full damage out of it. So let's have a look. Woohoo! Wow, that's a lot of damage. So 88 damage at the wall, and the idea behind it, of course, is you're combining all the concepts we talked about. So you're combining your heat dash, forward 4-1 or 4-1 plus 2 tactic. You're combining that together with a longer wall combo. And one more time, this is what it looks like. It's a juicy 88 damage. So again, as a reminder, in any of those weird situations, if you don't know what to do in heat, again, the most efficient thing to consider doing is something like that. So if you're in heat mode and you hit this random back 1 plus 2 into dash, up 1 plus 2, that's the thing to go for. And the same thing with the forward 4-1. So if you're in that awkward situation where you're in heat and you hit the forward 4-1 randomly and you heat dash from it because you were just looking for pressure, but oh, it hit, up 1 plus 2. Look at the damage. Alright guys, so this one's another example combo. This is to open your mind to some of the concepts of what you can do in heat mode with a balcony break. So let's give it a shot, see if we can get on the first try. Now with that combo, you notice I did the jab down forward 1 ender rather than the forward 2-2-1-1. I think they do around the same damage, but sometimes when you dash up, if you try to dash and then do the forward 2, you'll get forward 2 instead. So I like to kind of just dash up and just do that descender instead. Alright guys, and I got one more for you. This is another heat cash out example. This is what to do when you've done a really long combo on a stage that has one of the stage explosions, whether it's this stage, there's also the one that you're in space, that crazy stage. So this is an example of what to do on that stage to really cash out on the explosion when you get it late in the combo. Oh my god, that damage is disgusting. And the idea behind that is it's the same heat dash cash out combo, but because you're doing it at the end of a longer combo that's so extended, you're getting that cash out on top of just a huge combo that you're getting already. That 109 damage, that seals rounds. Okay, you can come back with those, so always keep aware of it. That's how you cash out on a stage just like this one. I'll show you one more time if you want to see it. I chose a simple combo for the example, but you can do a better combo than this and still do the exact same thing. Oh my god, that's disgusting damage. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much it, everybody. I just want to get this one out there to you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm especially sure the combo section will help some of you out that are having trouble with certain combos and certain things like that. But I'm also hoping that some of the in-depth strategy will help some of you guys as far as just adding different strategy to your game, especially with the Perfumer stances and the tricks like that, things like that. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. As always, appreciate you guys, and I'll see you all in the next video soon. Let me know what type of guides you would like to see next. I saw some character requests as well as some requests for things like guides on defense and that type of thing. So keep the ideas coming at me, guys, because I want to make more videos like these soon.